Hi, my name is Sherry Sanders, and I'm a county extension agent working in White County as a part of the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture. And this is Agriculture. Agriculture is a program where we celebrate women working in the field of agriculture in the state of Arkansas. This month's guest is my friend, Brittany Scott. Brittany is the CEO and owner of Smart Reproduction. They're located just right outside of Jonesboro in Northeast Arkansas. And this is Brittany's story.
So actually, I grew up in rural East Texas. I'm not from Arkansas. I'm an import, much like my business. And where I grew up was on Lake Sam Rayburn, and that's roughly halfway between Houston and Dallas, and it's 30 minutes from the Louisiana border. So it's a very, very rural county. We're surrounded by pine trees. Our property, we have a family farm there of 120 acres that my grandfather did beef cattle and poultry, but he was the generation that he was a jack of all trades. He did whatever he needed to do to provide for his family, which was my mother and my uncle. Myself, I did have one sibling who unfortunately passed away when he was younger unexpectedly. But I learned work ethic and about small business ownership and how you need to take care of your family from my grandfather. So I went to school in a very tiny town. I think our entire school maybe only had 300 students or so, and my graduating class actually was 19 of us, but none of them were my cousin, so there's that. So it was just a very small town, rural school, and in an area that there were not a lot of resources. It is a county that I think to this day is one of the top counties for poverty, literacy, stuff like that in the state. And so I knew that I wanted to go on after high school. And so I went to Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, which would be a school similar to the size of Arkansas State. And I did animal science at it, got a bachelor's degree from there, and so that made me the first in my family to attend and graduate from college. From there, I knew I wasn't done. I really wanted to continue my education, even though I didn't have a clear idea of what graduate school or further education looked like. So I had some really good advisors in high school and also in college that said, well, what were you most interested in? And reproduction was the class, even though I only took one, that really hit home with me. I really enjoyed it. So I decided to apply to the 3 leading schools in the nation at that time, because why not? And I got an interview at 2, and then I was accepted to Louisiana State University and got a graduate assistantship there. And they had a very special research station right outside of Baton Rouge called the Reproductive Biotechnology Center. So it was 1,000 acres. And we had our own herds of animals, so we had cattle, horses, sheep, goats, and then we also had a state-of-the-art laboratory, which I wish I would have realized how special it was back then, because I just wanted to go and work with horses because I really enjoyed riding horses, messing with horses. So when during my interview, when they asked me what type of reproduction I wanted to do, I just answered horses because that was my favorite domestic livestock. So he said, well, guess what? I have a professor with an opening, and he manages this center. And so I went there. They put me in charge of the broodmare herd. So I started out with 20 or 25 mares and then grew it to 50 or 60 and then had 4 or 5 studs. And it was really cool because we got to use them for our projects. Everything was graduate school led, self-taught type deal. And then we also worked directly with the theriogenology department at the vet school, to where I was trained in reproduction by them, but then we had to train their vet students when they had to do clinical rotations and needed to touch animals. So that was always fun days. But anyway, on the inside of the lab, my colleagues were doing stuff like cloning, They were doing IVF and working with stem cells, very, very cool stuff. But I wanted to be applied. I wanted to be out with the shoots, out with the animals, and I thought that was cooler than being in the lab with no windows. But looking back, I wish I would have taken more time to see what they were doing, though I did get to assist them on projects. But it was a very, very special center, and we had probably 20 different graduate students working there at the time I was there, and I studied under Dr. Godke, who's a very well-known professor in our industry, and I was one of his last graduate students prior to him retiring a little bit after I graduated.